Hey folks, KILT-MAN here. KILT-MAN at your services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. It's a Freedom Friday. Yes, it's a Freedom Friday. Comes around so quickly, doesn't it? So yes, KILT-MAN has to get this video done so we can then go out and enjoy Freedom Friday. Escape from New York news. Yes, there is. Rumour control. This is rumour control. Jeffrey Dean Morgan has now thrown his hat into the ring, his eye patch into the ring to try to play Snake Plissken for Zack Snyder's, at some point, remake, reboot of Escape from New York, Carpenter's classic. My joint top favourite movie alongside Jaws and John Carpenter's The Thing. But my favourite character of all time, Snake Plissken. You guys know this. I have done so many videos on Snake Plissken and what should happen with Plissken. We had the magnificent 81 Escape from New York. We had a lamentable sequel, which nobody wanted to do, and it's crap. It's a crass pantomime remake of the original movie with zero fun. It's just played for camp, silly laughs and looks stupid with no horrendous CG. Escape from LA. But we know that Kurt Russell should do a final movie, and I've done so many videos on this now, and it should be just called Plissken, and it's no escape, just no escape. You take what's happened in LA, the film LA, and he's busted the world back to the Stone Age, no technology, and it's a Mad Max style wasteland. Escape from New York and Snake Plissken are Western characters. John Carpenter's favourite genre isn't sci-fi, it's westerns. He loves westerns more than anything else at all. It is sort of biblical, ecclesiastical bullshit there. Sorry about that. I mean nothing by it. You're not all been baptised into the KILT-MAN because you're already members of the KILT-MAN just by watching these videos. You've been indoctrinated. But yeah, Kurt Russell, as grizzled and as old as he is now, could come back and play Plissken in an old style. It'd be a western style movie, and he'd be grizzled and old, be perfect. But for decades now, they're trying to get a reboot, a remake. We've had the likes of Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was going to play Snake Plissken at one stage. What? Snakette Plissken? Snakeless Plissken? Dan Stevens, who, I'll be honest, Dan Stevens is the guy that if this had to happen at all, a remake with someone else playing Snake Plissken other than myself, it'd have to be Dan Stevens. I think he is great, and he's at the right age, sort of age now. Don't know, was he early 40s now? But the guest, awesome. And of course he's going to be in Onslaught as well. Adam Wingard's new, in the same universe as the guest. Oh my god, we'll be talking a lot more about that at some point. But anyway, look, so you've had names thrown into the ring and all that, like, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, awesome actor, incredible actor, worked with Zack Snyder before on Watchmen, and he played the comedian. Famously, he read 3 pages into the script and thought, hang on, my character dies here? I'm not doing this. But then he had to be convinced, no, your character, you'll have more scenes, more flashback scenes. You actually tie everything together, and you are the instigator of what happens. You're massively, vitally important, and he is. And then The Walking Dead, obviously, and other movies, other shows. But as Negan with Lucille, his baseball bat, he was incredible. A tour de force. He's 60 years old, folks. Zack Snyder is reinventing Escape from New York. But I've done videos on how this could possibly go. I mean, with his version. Looking at world events right now. Obviously, you're not going to be 1997 when the first film was set. But how prescient was Carpenter's first movie? Dystopian, Big Brother societies, criminal fucking, outrages left, right and centre. World Trade Center, planes crashing into New York. Who gave them that idea? Big JC, mate. No. But prescient stuff and war heroes turned outlaws. You had it with Rambo as well, but in real life reality, how many veterans of different conflicts around the world come back home and then suddenly, Billy Law goes after them because, oh, you committed war crimes, you did this, you did that. No, hang on, I was trained to do a job and I went out and did the job. I killed for Queen, King, President and country. I did what I was told to do, what I was trained to do, and now you're coming for me because politics has changed. Screw that. And Plissken was implicitly about that mentality. He come back after being Congressional Medal of Honor winner a couple of times. He's fought in World War III. He flew the Gulf fire into Leningrad. He knows how to get in quietly and assassinate people and bug out quickly as well. He's an expert, Anyway, but he came back home like Rambo did. We'll go the literary route. We'll go the comic book and movie version of events. We won't bog ourselves down with reality, which is too horrible to even fucking contemplate. But he comes back home and finds a world which is corrupt. I fought for this government. I fought for presidents that are they don't give a shit. It's a tyrannical society, and they lump everyone together. If you don't follow this rule, don't follow that rule, you're sent to New York, which is now a maximum security penitentiary. And so you train me, I'll use my skills to benefit myself, not you, not the man, no authority. So I'll become an outlaw, I'll rob banks. And he does, and he gets caught and gets sent in there. But that's the thing. So in a new version, in today's society, today's world, you can really find a Snake Plissken type character who comes back from wars and is, nowadays it'd be PTSD, that you'd be lashing that all over it. But no, I've come back home, I've got these skills, you train me, but I've come home to no house, I can't even get a property, I can't get benefits, I can't get anything at all. I'm dependent on veterans charities because the government's turned their back on me and all my brethren. So the culture is rife for that story. But that story told again, do you want it? No. As I said before, you want Plissken. You want the third movie to complete the John Carpenter and Kurt Russell inspired, trilogy. That's what you want. We're not going to get that. Kurt Russell has said he will not return to Snake Plissken unless John Carpenter is going to direct it. Now we know that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. And Zack Snyder, love him or loathe him, has took over the reins, has the rights to do so, and with Studio Canal, who own the rights, he is going to reboot Escape from New York. But he's going to do it down and dirty, gritty, and more grounded in more realism. To be honest, the first movie is grounded in a lot of realism because the way the crime rates were heading, Carpenter wasn't just making things up. Well, he was to a degree, but it was a reflection on how the world and society, especially in America, was seen to be going. We're always at loggerheads with other world powers, and World War III is always looming on the horizon. He just said, look, it's happening, and we've got this war hero who's come back, and but he's turned outlaw, but he's going to become a bloody hero, but an anti-hero at the same time. And it's a classic movie. But we're in the era of non-stop remakes, reboots, retweakings, reimaginings. Oh God. So anyway, Zack Snyder hasn't got a story in place. He is writing it with somebody else. I did discuss all this previously, and he wants to make this, certainly. I have a love-hate thing with Zack Snyder. I loved Watchmen, I really did, but I don't go back to it. I do not go back to it at all, which is strange because I did love it at the time. This is the full Snyder cut there, whatever you call it, the extended cut, and I loved it. I've got the original comic book, Alan Moore, and I love that. The film is different in some respects, but I loved the movie, and I loved 300. Loved 300. But I've hated everything else he's done. Yes, and that includes the Dawn of the Dead remake. Oh, everyone loves it. No, you made them run. What the fuck? You made them run. Oh, God. No, it's got some good gore in it. No, it's quite, as remakes go, it's not a bad one. It's not none of the worst, but that way. It's not undignified. But I'm not a massive, huge fan. And I don't return to that either. I'll watch George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And all this Justice League bollocks, I fucking despise. What's the other one? Sucker Punch? And his Rogue Moon bollocks. No. Yeah, oh, God. So anyway, what does Zack Snyder go and do? He goes back to Warner. Warner ousted him about, I don't know, 6 years ago, whatever it was, maybe less than that, 4 or 5 years ago. Ousted him. He's with Studio Canal. And he's gone back to Warner, sort of cap in hand. Now, I don't know if you heard this. What he did, this is only a few days ago, he went back and threw a watch party. And what film did he celebrate and showcase for all the Warner brothers and sisters? Well, it wasn't Escape from New York. It was Excalibur. Came out the same year, but Excalibur, John Boorman's Excalibur, has he got eyes on remaking that? I mean, you can tell another story of King Arthur and the Sword in the Stone and Merlin. You know, you could do all that, of course you can, but don't have to be a remake of Excalibur per se. But he showed that movie. Now we know he's got a lot of bridges to rebuild with Warner, but is he wanting money? Is that why he's gone there? He has a film already, which I've forgotten the name of. I've done it in other videos. I forgot the name of it now. I think it's a slow burn noir thriller. I think it is, if I remember rightly. He's made that. That's done. But no one's seen it. It's not out yet because it's been sitting in distribution hell. No one wants to pick it up and take it. So he can't release a film, a full feature film he's made only a year ago or whatever, and he can't release it because no one wants to pick it up and take it and run with it. He's also got a UFC film which is in development at the moment. So he's trying to get a film out there. He's got another film on the go, and he's got Escape from New York on his slate as well. Well, excuse me, Zack, but Escape should be the president of this, little list of movies you've got on the go. Or rather, don't do it at all. My thing would be don't do it at all. So I don't know how he's going to fit this movie into any of this grand scheme of works, because it's not even been written yet as far as I know. He's got ideas for it. Down, dirty, gritty, neo-noir, realism, whatever. Reflecting today's world. I think I've just added that bit myself. I don't think he's doing that, but anyway. I think the only way you could do it would be to reflect today's world. And with Trumpism and all that, and MAGA, I think you've got a lot of ways of making this story work and make it relevant in today's world. And that's coming from someone that doesn't want Zack Snyder to remake Escape from New York. But I think the story can be redone. Anyway, but into this, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's worked with Snyder before, and his favourite character of all time, like myself, is Snake Plissken. He wants to play Snake Plissken. He's 60 years old. He's 3 years older than me. He's been posing around with eye patches on, Escape from New York t-shirts, apparently, and he said, this is a quote, I've not got the full quote here, you don't need it, I'll just paraphrase it. This is what he said. I've been bombarding Zack, with I want to play Snake. I've been subtle, subtle as in, I want to play Snake Plissken. Please give me the role of Snake Plissken. I know you want to probably skew younger, but I think, we could have a grizzled, this is what he said, a grizzled, gruff, older Snake. Well, what have I been banging on about for fucking years? Get Kurt Russell back to play the final in what should be a trilogy. Erase the memory of Escape from LA and have a Western, pure adventure with an older Snake Plissken played by the only guy that can play Snake Plissken or should play Snake Plissken, Kurt Russell. So you've got Jeffrey D. Morgan's now saying like, well, I could play an older, gruffer version. Snyder's not going to go for that. He's not going to go for that. I'm not saying that, you know, Jeffrey D. Morgan couldn't be in the movie. He could play Bob Houck. He could play Cabby. I think he'd be better at playing Cabby. Do you know why? Because he's got this perpetual grin on his face. He looks like, is it Brad Garrett, who in Everyone Loves Raymond? He's the big fucking, you know, huge telephone pole bloody brother, Robbie. He's got a permanent grin on his face. He looks slightly imbecilic. No offence, but he does. As Negan, he was terrifying, but he forever had this grin on his face, and so he got his backstory, and then you found out what made him as nasty as he turned out to be, and how much relish he put in his violence with Lucille. Then again, he's got experience with a baseball bat. So if you're going to bring back Snake Plissken in the ring with spiked baseball bats against hideously oversized foes, well, Jeffrey D. Morgan is your man. He knows how to wield a baseball bat. Does old Jeffrey. Jeffrey the Snake, that doesn't have a ring to it, does it? King Kurt, like King Cobra, King Snake. He is Snake Plissken. And to all you people are going like, oh, well, but Kurt's son Wyatt could play him. Wyatt is nowhere near the caliber of an actor of either, you know, Jeffrey D. Morgan, and especially his dad. He isn't. No offense, but you're just not, mate. And because you look a little bit like your dad, the temptation would be to grow your hair. But he's massively receding. You know, King Kurt's got a fucking full head of hair, like, and still to this day, now it's all gone great. It's like solid concrete blocks on his head, you know, but still looks great and could play the older Snake Plissken. Wyatt, no. Emily Blunt, no. Clive Standen from Vikings, Rollo, no, too big, just too big. Snake's not meant to be a big muscle-bound guy, despite what was it Dark Horse or whoever? No, it wasn't Dark Horse. Whatever the comic book producers, publishers were, Boom Time or something, Boomstick. They did a run of Escape from New York follow-on comic stories, which were absolute, and I mean absolute shite. I know, I bought them all, even though I knew it was really crap, but I had to have them as part of my immense Snake Plissken collection. The trousers are there, the Siberian combat kecks, the boots are on the middle landing, the jacket's out there somewhere. I'm wearing one of several Plissken tops. The watch is in the cabinet over there, and I've got all the stuff, you know, that the Mac 10. I'm not telling you where that is, but that's somewhere. The eye patch, Mr. Kentucky Fudge is wearing it right now. But this came to light yesterday about Jeffrey D. Morgan, because you know those horrible, stupid bullshit sites like Movie Rant or Collider or CBR, something like that. Anyway, these pop up on everyone's, you know, feed. Whatever you're doing, you know, you've had to go on the internet, you know, or Google comes up, and straight away you get these things because you're into movies, and it knows what films and stuff you look at. So boom, 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 you get these. And I saw this bloody stuff about Jeffrey D. Morgan. I want to be Snake Plissken. And then once I clicked on that, I thought, you're fucking kidding me. You ain't going to be Plissken. Forget that one. Yeah. So you're Plissken. I thought you were younger. You know, that's what you're going to get with this. Is that going to be the tagline? I thought you were younger. Well, I'm his dad. You know, oh, fuck off. I don't think Morgan can play this. I don't think he can. Because of that grin and this long face. He's a great actor, but he's not Plissken. I mean, I should be going like, you know, sending Zack Snyder pictures of myself with the eye patch on and the full gear. I've gone chunkier of face in the last couple of years, I know, but I would slim down for it. And I've got the fucking build for it anyway, without being too big. But I'm just 3 years shy of Jeffrey D. Morgan. So I'd be a grizzled old fat-faced whiskey swilling bastard. It could work. It could genuinely work. So I just thought I'd mention this because it's been getting mentioned to me. So I got messages last night and this morning. Have you seen this? Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to play Snake. He's not going to play Snake Plissken. He wants to play Snake Plissken, but he's not going to be the guy getting the role. Snyder, you know, whatever you think about him, he's not going to skew older. He's going to go younger because if this film's a big success, he's going to want to make more. I would dearly love to see Kurt Russell back as the grizzled, grunty, you know, rheumatoid. You know, he's lost an eye already, basically. You know, and he's had his crossbow bolt in one leg. He's been beaten, he's been shot, he's fallen off waterfalls, and he's been surfboarding down Wilshire Boulevard. You know, he's had loads of other adventures. He's going to be a bag of shite, ripped up, knackered, bones and knackered. But Kurt Russell, it would work because you can still believe him running around and still fighting and doing stuff because King Kurt can still do it in the movies at the age he is and be convincing. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an action hero, I'm afraid, yeah, he may have been the comedian. He may have been, but that was a good few years ago. Now, mate, no, it's over. It's over. Just face the facts. It's over, Jeffrey. So anyway, there you go. There's a lot more to talk about. There's other movie news. There's even more John Carpenter remake news. Hard to believe, isn't it? But, well, actually it's not. It's every day you get another John Carpenter story because Carpenter's doing so much. He's doing comic books, he's presenting. John Carpenter presents now. He's doing more music. Oh, you're going to get the full review of Cathedral, his newest musical album, which is outstanding. But it's also part of a comic book which is forthcoming called Cathedral. You're meant to read the comic book whilst playing the soundtrack he created for it, and he wrote the comic book alongside his wife Sandy King. So there you go, lots of stuff to consider. Anyway, I'm out of here because I've got loads and loads of stuff to do in the real world, but I'll be back later with another nugget of movie trivia, movie shite, whatever Hollywood is trying to do. It does it wrong usually. These days it does it wrong. Used to be an industry you loved and admired. Used to look forward to films coming out every week, every month, every whatever. Now, I still had this conversation with our good friend Captain Ronnie only this morning. He said, you know, when's the last time you genuinely look forward to a movie? Yeah, and I thought, well, I still look forward to movies all the time, even though I'm far more cynical and most of the movies massively disappoint and do not satisfy. So I know this, but the last film really, which it took years to get it made, and I followed it all the way through, not on the channel, didn't have the channel back then, but on AV forums and other stuff, I was talking about it all the time. And I was buying stuff from the film before the film had even been made, and it was Mad Max Fury Road. I spent years looking forward to it, development, and then it's endless shoot, reporting on it in different platforms, massively invested in it, and then it came out, and it didn't disappoint. I absolutely loved every friggin' second of that. I saw it like I saw Gladiator every night for a week. Like I used to see films every night when they first came out when I was a kid. But I saw Gladiator every night for 2 weeks, every single night. I never got bored of it. Got tattooed with it, bought props from it, bought costumes, bought all sorts from it. But Mad Max Fury Road, wow. You know, I saw that I think every night for a week. Don't think I did 2 weeks on it, but every night for a week, and then the 3D, got the 3D version as well. I love the movie to this day. It doesn't beat The Road Warrior, Mad Max 2. It doesn't. Tom Hardy is not Mel Gibson, but and again, here we go again. We all want Mel Gibson to come back for a final Mad Max movie. It won't happen. George Miller won't take on board, even though they're still friends, he won't take on board Mel Gibson in the movie, and Gibbo will not do a Mad Max movie again. He said that plenty of times. It's not going to happen. He's trying to get bloody Lethal Weapon 5 off the ground, isn't he? I did talk about that recently as well. Anyway, it's the Crazies coming up. I don't disagree that Escape from New York is so rife with content, subtext, really meaty stuff, political, geopolitical, sociological, militaristic, and outlaw, fantasy, action, adventure. It's got everything in there in a tight and slow burn thriller. Don't forget, it's touted as, you know, a sci-fi action thriller. There is action, but it's Carpenter doesn't do action particularly well. Oh, what have I said? He doesn't. He did Big Trouble in Little China, which is an action classic, but he did people who took over and did all the wire work and, you know, the kung fu, whatever the hell you call it, like. But all the chop socky stuff was directed by other people, you know. But it's an action movie classic. Escape from New York has little moments of action. They're dealt with very quickly, very briefly. But that's not the point. The point is it's a brooding, atmospheric, very dark, character-driven, high concept sort of thriller. And it works on all of those levels and then some. It's a film that keeps on giving. I never tired of that movie and that character, which is why people keep getting drawn back to it and they're, oh, we can do a new version. Well, you can, because it's so rife with all the things I've just said. You can shape it to today's world, just slightly more removed maybe. So with 2026 right now, we've had Trump, we've had the war with Iran, the most pathetic war that's ever happened. We've got tons and tons of grief internally in America and in the UK. In all the Western world, you know, you've got this strife. People are turning renegade and the whole vigilanteism and all that. And, you know, crime is through the roof everywhere. So into that environment, this film, a remake of Escape from New York, or that idea can really, really work. I said before about veterans coming back from conflicts who are being mistreated by their own governments, who sent them out there to do a job, and they did it, and then they come back and get done for it. You're having a fucking laugh, aren't you? Having a fucking, and I know people that have been done. I'm ex-Marines. I've seen the very shit that these people are going through, and I fucking hate it. And that's the government for you. You can't trust the government. Plissken knew this. John Carpenter knows it. John Carpenter is very, very vastly anti-authoritarian. He's immensely liberal in many ways, which I am not, as it turns out. I'm quite the polar opposite of John Carpenter, politically speaking. But what Carpenter was saying, I actually endorse, because you cannot trust governments, you can't trust them at all, you can't trust authorities. Two-tier policing, fuck all of that. Plissken speaks to the underdog, the working class, you know, the blue collar. You know, he speaks for the masses, and he's a figurehead, a poster boy for it, for righteous justice. He gets done for it, but he still gets the upper hand. He still wins, and he still turns his back. He does a lot of bad things, let's be honest. You know, at the end of Escape from New York, he kind of does, you know, because he's swapped the cassettes. He's consigned what would have been a peace deal with China and the Soviet Union at the time. He's swapped the tapes, left the president in the lurch. So World War III is going to just carry on, you know. And then Escape from LA, he turns the world back to the Stone Age. He just, the sort of Damocles satellite hits every technological instrument in the world and busts it back down. So and inadvertently, so cars will crash, you know, planes will drop out of the sky. He will have inadvertently committed mass murder on a scale which Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Hannibal, Alexander the Great, Hitler, no one could reach. Plissken would have killed more people because of his deeds, because he's just, you know, against the man, you know. No, this will fucking sort them out, you know. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck about your war or your president. I don't give a fuck about anything, you know, apart from where my next ciggy's coming from. And so it is basically John Carpenter is personified in Snake Plissken. And he's our hero. He's killed half the world. He's like, who's that fucking big purple-headed lantern-jawed thing in the Avengers? What's he called? I forgot his fucking name now. The click of his fingers, that's it. Half the universe has been wiped out. That's Plissken for you. But we love him. We love him, don't we? Anyway, folks, I have been and always shall be KILT-MAN. So please, in the meantime, when it's ever like, let's all put eye patches on and go on the casting couch for Zack Snyder. I want to be Snake. I want to be Snake. I'm Snake. It's like Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. And so is my wife, you know. I'm Snake Plissken. Pick me. Pick me. Pick me. Oh, pick me. Jeff, I don't deny you're a good actor and you could get in that. You could be in the movie. But you're going to be Hulk or somebody else. I think a Cabby style with that grin on your face, that incessant fucking imbecilic grin. You could play the likes of Cabby, who's just made up to have Snake Plissken in the back of my cab. Wait till I tell Eddie. Exactly. There you go. Right. I'm definitely out of here now. So just take it easy, and I'll see you all. And yeah, the heat wave is still going on. It's kind of cloudy at the moment, a bit overcast. Actually, it's not. The sun's come back through again, but the heat is still like stifling. Laters.